For your family, your community, your nation. Mobilize for defense through your American Red Cross. And here is a salute to you and your Red Cross, especially transcribed and starring Bob Hope.
Thank you very much. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Here we are at the United States Terminal for Air Evacuation for all Korean wounded, ladies and gentlemen. They have a hospital here with a permanent staff of 50 doctors and 200 nurses. I didn't expect it, but when I arrived, they gave me a wonderful reception in front of the hospital, a 21-gun salute. Well, they weren't exactly guns. They were water pistols filled with chloroform. Of course, this is a little new to me. It's the first time I've ever been in a hospital before a broadcast. When I walked in... And these boys were so happy to see us, they even resorted to flattery. There's a sign on this door down the corridor that says, "Welcome, Bob Hope and Les Brown. Gentlemen." I went through the hospital wards to see some of the guys, and they were doing swell. Some of them were writing letters to their girls. Others were making presents for their girls. Some of them were looking at pictures of girls. And some of them were working with mechano sets, building girls. And there was a pretty nurse in the ward, so I slipped on a bathrobe and stood by one of the beds pretending that I was one of the patients. And she believed me. If there's a patient here named Murphy who is missing his penicillin shots, I can tell him where they are. But while I was there, I did donate a pint of blood. One guy was operated on yesterday, and now he's eating enough for 2 men. First, nobody could understand it. Then they discovered they'd sewed him up and left the doctor inside. Lots of the doctors up here are flying surgeons. They can take out your appendix without unfastening your safety belt. I had dinner here at the hospital, and can these patients eat? The chaplain said grace, and between say and grace, they were ready for dessert. And we had a little trouble at the table. The surgeons had a big fight to see who would open the turkey. While they were arguing, the turkey got discharged. Now we have a special treat for you guys, a wonderful gal whose recordings keep the jukeboxes of the country in business. She was up here a couple of weeks ago, and she wanted to come back for another visit. Here she is, one of the nation's top recording artists, Miss Margaret Whiting.
I only want what's the best thing for you, and the best thing for you would be me. I've been convinced after thinking it through that the best thing for you would be me. Every day to myself I say, point the way, what will it be? I ask myself, what's the best thing for you? And myself and I seem to agree that the best thing for you would be me.
very much. Listen, friends, my business is laughs. But now, for a minute, let's consider something you can't laugh off. Something tears won't help much either. This demands action, yours and mine. These are times of peril. Our armed forces are vitally important to the very life of the nation. They must have all the help and encouragement we at home can give them. Through your American Red Cross, you can give help and comfort to our servicemen wherever they are. Consider a boy named Sam, just a kid of 20 or so, thousands of miles from home when a letter came from a neighbor. His father had been rushed to a hospital for an extremely serious operation. That father was all Sam had in the world. Days passed, and no further word reached Sam. He was tormented by thoughts of his dad. Did he have money for the operation and proper care? Who was with him? Had he even lived? Sam's morale was shot, his efficiency slipping. When he got to the Red Cross field director, Red Cross got a message through the chapter nearest Sam's home. The answer was like a song to Sam: father's condition satisfactory. Red Cross providing for the emergency. Just a little thing, you say, for us at home, yes. Pick up the phone and send a telegram, but to your serviceman, far from home and familiar conveniences. A message sent and answered can mean the difference between torment and assurance. Listen, friends, let's help those boys all we can. Let's dig deep into our pockets and give enough through the 1951 Fund campaign to help Red Cross expand its services to meet the increased needs of our expanding military. Let's keep our Red Cross standing shoulder to shoulder with those who've served this nation in uniform. Are you comfortable, Claudette?
Yes, I'm all right, Bob.
Now, Claudette, isn't this better than traveling on a stuffy old train or plane? This way, we've got solid comfort. And I bet you were surprised to find my car was equipped to serve a warm lunch.
Yes, but isn't it rather messy, a glove compartment full of hot meatballs?
Well, I'll admit it is a little messy. I should never have taken the spaghetti out while the windshield wipers were going. Before I could get them turned off, I was tied to the steering wheel and sprayed with meat sauce. But anyway, Claudette, it's nice to eat a little snack while we're driving along. Have something else?
No, thanks, Bobby. It's so dark in that glove compartment, you don't know what you're getting. So far, I've eaten 3 pickles, a liverwurst on rye, and a California road map with ketchup.
I know what you mean. I ate 3 olives before I found out they were flashlight bulbs. Gee, look at the gas needle, almost empty. Oh, there's the station. Wonder where the attendant is. Is anybody here?
Yeah, I'll be right with you, boy. I'm doing a little mechanical work.
Mechanical work?
Yeah, boy, it's the boss's day off, and I got my hand caught in the cash register. There, that got it out. What can I do for you?
Well, we want some gas.
Oh, to be sure. Well, how do you do, lady?
How do you do?
My, you're pretty. And you look so familiar. I feel that we must have met before someplace.
Well, I hardly
Now, don't tell me where it was. Did we waltz to muted strings in the wisteria room of the Bal Tabaran? No. Did we drink champagne together at the top of the mark? Dive for clams off Fisherman's Wharf?
Come on, will you? Put the gas in, that's all.
But I'm sure I know this little lady from somewhere. Oh, that's right. You're Claudette Colbert, ain't you? Gee, I think you're swell in pictures, miss.
Well, thank you.
I'm doing all right in Hollywood, too, you know.
Oh, sure, you do good any place. You could even make a lot of money right here.
Right here? How do you mean?
Just think of all the gas you could pump through that nozzle. Well, I've checked everything and filled the tank. That'll be $7.40.
$7.40, you got your nerve. Why don't you get a gun and hold people up on the highway? I've never heard of such barefaced robbery. $7.40.
Okay. Make it $6.40.
That's better. Here's your money. Goodbye.
Bob, I was embarrassed. You shouldn't have argued with him like that.
Why not? I saved you $1, didn't I? Claudette, I'm glad I got you alone like this because I've been wanting to ask you for a long time. Why is it we've never been in a picture together?
Oh, I don't know, Bob. I guess it's just that when I'm choosing a leading man, I don't think of you. I think of an actor.
Gee, the radiator's heating up. I'll pull into this gas station and get some water.
Well, I hope the attendant here isn't like that awful man at the last gas station. He was nothing but a thief.
Oh, don't worry. There couldn't be two crooks like that on the same highway.
What'll you bet, boy?
Now, wait a minute. How did you get way up here?
Oh, everybody makes that mistake. You must have stopped at my brother's gas station 20 miles back.
Well, if that's your brother, he's an out-and-out thief. He tried to cheat us.
He did? Well, wait till I get home and tell Ma that.
Now, wait a minute. You're going to tell her son is a thief?
Oh, she'll be glad to hear it. She was beginning to lose faith in him.
Come on, Claudette, let's get out of here.
Say, Bob, Travis Field can't be much further.
Yeah, we've been on the road quite a while.
Look at those cute little signs along the roadside. Greetings, traveler, welcome, friend. Vacaville is around the bend.
Drive 50 or 60, lickety-split, in Vacaville. There's nothing to hit.
But if you're driving carelessly, watch out for the cop badge 83.
He's a real mean cop, and he'll ruin your joy.
Pull up to the curb, because that's me, boy.
Oh, I might have known there'd be a third brother.
That's right. I got you, buddy, and I'm an honest cop, so don't try to bribe me.
Well, who mentioned bribery?
I did. Somebody has to break the ice. I'll have to fine you $10 for speeding.
Let me handle this, Bob. Now then, Captain.
No, I'm just a lieutenant.
Oh, but you look like a captain. You're so big and handsome. We weren't going very fast, were we?
You were doing 60.
Oh, officer, your big brown eyes must have deceived you.
Well, you were doing 35. Or maybe 25.
Oh, I'm just so glad you caught up with us so I could meet a big, wonderful man like you. How fast were we going?
Come to think of it, you were standing still.
There, you see, officer, you just admitted yourself we were standing still. You can't charge us $10 for that.
You're right, boy.
Okay.
It'll be $20 for parking.
That does it. Get out of here.
Mobilize for defense through the American Red Cross. For your family, your community, the nation, and this year more than ever, give and give generously through your Red Cross. Today's transcribed salute to the Red Cross featured Bob Hope, Claudette Colbert, and Jack Kirkwood. Hi, Averback speaking.
Hi. You forgot to mention Margaret Whiting and Les Brown and his orchestra.
your community, your nation. Mobilize for defense through your American Red Cross. And here's a salute to you and your Red Cross, especially transcribed with Bing Crosby and his guest, Miss Dorothy Kirsten, John Scott Trotter and his orchestra, Judd Collins with the Mares, and yours truly, Ken Carpenter. And now here's Bing.
Thanks, Ken. I guess I better get to singing, huh? We have a nice tune here called Life is So Peculiar. John Scott, boys and girls, this is a point that shouldn't be too difficult to substantiate, musically at least. Oh, life is so peculiar. You get so wet in the rain, and you get so warm in the sunshine, but it doesn't pay to complain. When I get up each morning, there's nothing to breathe but air. And when I look in the mirror, there's nothing to comb but hair. And when I sit down to breakfast, there's nothing to eat but food. Life is so peculiar, but you can't stay home and brood.
Yes, life is so peculiar.
The desert's only got sand. The ocean's only got water.
You never know where you stand. When I go out to dinner, there's nothing to wear but clothes.
And whenever I get sleepy, nothing to do but doze.
And whenever I get thirsty, there's nothing to do but drink. Oh, life is so peculiar that it makes you stop and think.
Oh, life is so peculiar.
A bird can usually sing. A pearl is made by an oyster.
Man, you can't be sure of a thing. When I get tired of resting,
There's nothing to do but walk.
and when I don't care to listen,
There's nothing to do but talk.
and when I'm up in my airplane,
There's nothing to do but fly. Life is so peculiar, and I often wonder why. Yes, life is so peculiar.
a fork belongs with a knife.
Ba-oo, ba-oo, ba.
Corned beef is lost without cabbage.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
A husband should have a wife.
Well, you know that life is so peculiar, but as everybody says, that's life, that's life.
Well, ain't it a mess?
That's life.
One of the important revivals this year has been an old tune of Calmer and Ruby's. Maybe I'm right, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm weak, maybe I'm strong. But nevertheless, I'm in love with you. Maybe I'll win, and maybe I'll lose. Maybe I'm in for crying the blues. But nevertheless, I'm in love with you. Somehow I know at a glance the terrible chances I'm taking. Fine at the start, then left with a heart that is breaking. Maybe I'll live a life of regret, and maybe I'll give much more than I'll get. But nevertheless, I'm in love.
Might as well confess that
I'm in love with you. That's it. Thank you both. Thank you, group. They say the flash from an exploding A-bomb can be seen for 50 miles. I wouldn't know. I've never seen one. And I hope I never will. I hope you never will. But it could happen here, and we've just got to face this fact. And it can't be a case of every man for himself, either. Nagasaki and Hiroshima taught us that we've got to get organized and stay organized. Organized to take care of one another. Now, to organize and train enough of us for such a situation is a big job. It's a staggering job. That's why our Uncle Sam, in this national emergency, has called on Red Cross to train 20 million people in first aid, to train 100,000 volunteer nurses' aides and hundreds of thousands of women for home nursing, for radiation sickness, for shock, burns, cuts. Blood is an important medicine. Uncle Sam has asked your Red Cross to coordinate a national blood collecting program so that blood will be available whenever and wherever it's needed for national defense. It's the biggest job of its kind that the Red Cross has ever tackled. We've got to be realistic about it. To do all this costs money, and because it's our Red Cross, yours and mine, you and I have got to help. So when that neighbor comes knocking at your door, dig down deep in your pocket. Remember, we need a lot from the Red Cross this year. Let's give a lot through Red Cross and help get this job done. Here now is the charming, gracious, lovely lady from the Metropolitan Opera Company, Miss Dorothy Kirsten.
Thank you, Bing.
Dorothy? Both Miss Kirsten and I are involved in a nice duet. It's called Accidents That'll Happen. You want to take a whack at it, Dorothy?
Sure, Bing.
All right. The likes of you may never be attracted to the likes of me. But accidents will happen, and I'll be around. And maybe there'll be no one else but me around. Forevermore may never start. You may ignore my hopeful heart, and chances are I'm not the one to make you fall. But accidents will happen after all.
The likes of you may never be attracted to the likes of me. But accidents will happen, and I'll be around. And maybe there'll be no one else but me around. Forevermore may never start. You may ignore my hopeful heart. The chances are I'm not the one to make you fall. But accidents will happen after all.
A smile may show it
Your eyes may glow.
before you know it.
I'm sure I know. So if you fall
in
just
love,
that way,
in just that way, oh, wouldn't I be thrilled to hear you say Wonderful, Dorothy. Really fine. Here's a song. It's being brought back recently. I saw the harbor lights. They only told me we were parting. Those same old harbor lights that once brought you to me. I watched the harbor lights. How could I help if tears were starting? Goodbye to tender nights beside the silvery sea. I long to hold you near and to kiss you just once more. But you were on the ship and I was on the shore. Now I know lonely nights, for all the while my heart is whispering. Some other harbor lights will steal your love from me. Thanks, folks. Thank you very much. My thanks also to Miss Dorothy Kirsten for joining us here. Remember now, we need a lot from the Red Cross this year, so let's give a lot through the Red Cross.
Mobilize for defense through the American Red Cross for your family, your community, the nation. And this year, more than ever, give and give generously through your Red Cross. This transcribed salute to the Red Cross with Bing Crosby and his guest, Miss Dorothy Kirsten, John Scott Trotter and his orchestra, and Judd Collins with the Mayors, came to you from Hollywood. Ken Carpenter speaking. This program was produced and transcribed by Bill Morrow and Murdo McKenzie.